Hey, it's your guy Tyrrell back with the interviews. Would Barcelona go undefeated this season? If so, would they be able to do it without Lionel Messi? We'd find out at Levante. Would they be able to do it? How would they do it? Don't worry, here at the interviews, we've got you covered. So on this edition of the interviews, we're going to break down who was the key player for Barcelona against Levante. So Barcelona Levante, would Barcelona finish the season unbeaten in La Liga? Would they be able to do it without Lionel Messi? If you look at the board, we got Barcelona in the blue, we got Levante in the red. Obviously, we see them in a 4-3-3. Without Messi, how would they work? How would they operate? We have to look at probably the key player throughout, Philippe Coutinho playing off the left. He scored a hat trick, but what did he do differently? Where did Barca go wrong? When we look from a defensive aspect, there were just a lot of defensive mistakes. Poor lapses. Obviously, we look at the backline change. Vermaelen in with Mina. That is in the backline we've seen this season, but you still expect Barca to beat, even if Levante are in the form of their lives, beat them on the road and continue this run without Messi. But what we've said at the interviews this season is that Barcelona go as far as Suarez and Messi go. They played a 4-4-2, more of a 4-4-1, with Messi being in that natural number 10 role that he's always wanted to play. Here, they move 4-3-3. They had Dembele on the right. They had Coutinho on the left. This is basically how Levante were set up without the ball. What went wrong here was that there wasn't much width, and there was a big problem there. They didn't really, without Messi, you kind of think, how is this team going to create? Who is their creative player? They had Dembele a bit narrow. They try to get Semedo driving forward on the overlap to deliver crosses. That didn't really work out for them. He did get forward on a few occasions in the first half, but that didn't work out in their favor. Busquets didn't have the greatest of games. Iniesta and Rakitic a bit anonymous in terms of creativity, and that's what we've seen with that's what you don't expect from them, especially with Messi out. But with Coutinho, it was something different, and they still played kind of a two-man game. What Coutinho really found was that, one, the right back wasn't going to really step off and press him. So what he did often was drop, because this is kind of how they really were, drop into these spaces, pick up the ball here, turn, and then dribble towards goal. We saw him and Suarez combine on a few occasions, trying to get Suarez into that space. But Coutinho was living off the scraps here, picking up the ball in key areas, dribbling forward. There was one opportunity where he did do that, dribbled forward, brushed off a challenge. The play ended up with combining with Suarez and then Dembele breaking in and flashing a shot off a defender wide. But that was where Barcelona really got their key attacks from in the first half. However, the goals changed the game. It forced Barcelona to push forward. It allowed them to drop a bit deeper, and Coutinho doesn't really operate that well in tight spaces. So what we saw here was that Busquets was now splitting the back three. We saw the fullbacks push a bit forward. We saw the midfield drop off a bit deeper. And this is what Barcelona looked like without the ball when they had possession. And what it did really do is, although Coutinho was able to drop into these spaces, he scored his goals around the box. And what we don't give credit for on the interviews for Coutinho is the fact that when he gets the ball in these positions, his ability to just go 1v1, gain a yard, fire a shot on goal. That is Coutinho's bread and butter. He scored 2 goals in that aspect. The first one like that. The second one, he's just around the box, able to control it off his foot and fire a shot into the net. But for a player with his price tag that's supposedly dubbed as a creative player, you expect more. And this goes into what's happening next season. Yes, the loss is huge. Yes, it leaves Barcelona thinking, well, do they need to shore up the defense? In a game that didn't mean much with the makeshift backline, perhaps it's not a big deal. Going forward, you have to think about life without Messi, and now without Iniesta, who isn't really that much of a creative player in that sense. You can't rely on him fully, but you need someone to be that cog, because Messi playing a dual role as their best goal scorer and their best playmaker isn't going to last forever. And with Coutinho, he can't be relied as that playmaker, as that creative player, because that's not what he is. You see him at his best when he drops a bit deeper, running at goal, pushing forward. You see him at his best when he's able to gain a yard, fire a shot in. It doesn't really impact the game in the open play, and that's a big problem. But we saw here that he can make a difference. He can be decisive around the box. That is what Barcelona fans want from him. They want Suarez playing off the lines. He is also getting up there in age, and they're going to have to look at a replacement there as well, because if you're just relying on these two, let's say Messi were to get a long-term injury, what do you do? Because they just seem to, they are well structured. They are set up to be very tight and compact. more so than other Barcelona teams in the past. But here with Coutinho there, you have to think that with Iniesta gone, he's going to drop a bit deeper. His passing range is better in the deeper positions. He's able to dribble past markers. He's able to still utilize that long distance range of shooting, and then that's why you hear the rumor with Antoine Griezmann coming in. He offers you a different element. He can't be that creative player. He is a goal scorer. Him behind Messi, or having Dembele, who you have to think should be a bit wider in these games, you really feel that Barcelona are kind of heading in the right direction. But in a game where Coutinho scored a hat-trick and they lose, he was the key player, but it just raises alarm bells as to what Barcelona need, because without Messi, they don't really look like they're able to create numerous chances from open play. Coutinho was good in that aspect, but again, not enough for a Barcelona side that should be winning these games, even though in a tougher environment at this level. But let me know what you guys think. Meet me in the comments below. Don't forget I upload videos every day, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And that was your daily dose of the interviews.